Just doing my thing.
I'm already looking forward to next week.
Let's talk about RSL.
Yeah. Forget about Kansas.
Never look back.
Welcome to the Voice of C38. Full crew today. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Aloha, friends.
I mean,
Well,
I,
Hi. Yeah. You know what's funny?
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
No. I got my amusement out of reading the comments in discussion pages and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of amusing to see how fast the wheels fell off the wagon.
The support wagon?
well, see,
I think those fell off a week ago.
Well, the thing is when this is where the supporters start to show themselves from the fans, because I can think of a handful of supporters, and that's literally it, that would try to find the positive out of this last match.
I'm going to try.
And
I'll try.
well, so will I.
Challenge
I
on.
mean, that's kind of our job to an extent. We don't want to be. I mean, if you're critical, be fair about being critical.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like there might have been a couple people at Fox who didn't do that, and that's kind of where my beef was not so much. I mean, I saw us imploding on the field, and everything that happened, I almost foresaw minutes before. Like that goal 6 minutes in, I knew was happening after the first two. We shouldn't have sat there and said, let them have the ball. Let them come at us. We should never do that. And that's what they were doing right from the get-go. No one found their rhythm right away. It was almost like they started the game off on their heels. And it was only a matter of time before a goal went in. And then now you're down and you're trying to fight back. And
in
guys,
6 minutes.
yeah.
Yes. And
I mean,
well,
that's
and
not
that was what I wrote in today, that article. It was just such a total flip of momentum within that same minute. And that was kind of like an, oh shit, here we go type thing.
Because the team knows scoring 2 goals is near to impossible right now. Whether they feel that they can score or not, they haven't. Everyone on the field doesn't have the confidence that they would have if they were scoring.
But we'll play a little ditty from Marlon here later on about that. They weren't lacking confidence to say. I mean, I was in the stadium and talking to a couple fans. First shout out to the Millers. We thought the goal was coming. I talked to Porig right next to us in the booth, like before.
Miller's Porig name dropping over here.
Yeah.
Hashtag humble brag. And he was saying it's coming. We felt at the end of the first half, it was coming. It was coming because we had come so close, and then just to see it. Anyway.
The last 10 minutes of the second half were good, but that doesn't change the first 10 minutes.
You mean the first half?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The last 10 minutes of the first half were great.
Agreed.
But they started the game almost in the worst possible way. And I just, when you start on your heels and then you let a goal in 6 minutes in, there's not much backtracking you can do. Yeah. And a team like this that isn't built to score, despite what they tell us, the guys know it. They don't have the freedom to be what they need to do to score because they're trying to play defensively. And when you're already down a goal, it changes things, and that's the flaw in the tactic.
But when you go down a goal 6 minutes in, can't you,
That's when you should throw
change,
tactics out the window
adapt?
and you let the players play.
There was still plenty of, that's the old, there's
Not
plenty of
totally
time.
out the window, I guess I should say that.
Yeah.
As a coach, that's bad for me to say, but
and I don't think
you
they
changed things, and you
I think
didn't.
the way they played, they weren't rattled per se, and they weren't, I think they felt like they were still, they could stick with their plan and things were going to go. And
as far as getting a point out of the game, but not 3.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it was, I don't know that they, and I'm going to save that question for maybe a little later in the season for who, but I think they were still playing within what they planned, as far as game plan goes. And things were working. It's just, and he'll even say it, they are just missing. We're back to that missing by this much, back to missing that look, back to miss. This team rides too fine a line to be able to do that and do well. I mean, all right, I'm going to go off on a little soapbox here for a second.
They're just absolutely, from what I saw, it looked like a disheartened team. Didn't seem like we were organized. It seemed like we couldn't string, like there was a good portion of the game. We couldn't even string 2 passes together if we were in their half.
Well, let's face it.
And that's what I was saying about confidence. I don't think they fully had the confidence to do it.
And
they've been in preseason
I gotta
for
say,
3 weeks.
Howard had a
And
bad
it
game.
showed.
It was
I
supposed
don't
to be a
think
blessing
Howard
in
played very
disguise.
well.
And
And
now it's rough.
Courtney Ford did not make a good first
philosophy,
appearance.
my friend.
Yeah.
2 of those goals could be partially blamed on him or significantly blamed on him.
I was more nervous about our right back after the first couple of minutes.
Williams?
It was
No,
not. It
he
was
on the
not
left
our.
this time.
It was not my man Miller. It was Mikkel.
You said right
Williams.
back.
Did I?
Yeah, you meant
Sorry,
I
left
said
back.
right, yeah.
But I
Sorry,
know what
Mrs.
you
Miller. I wasn't talking about
no,
Eric.
but I know what you meant right away, just
Yeah.
because of the fact that, again, in that first 5 minutes, Mikhail was toast.
He got turned and burned a couple of
And
times.
Did anyone look up how he did in Trinidad and Tobago?
The same way he's done with
Started.
us.
Okay.
I mean, he starts, he plays, but this is TNT.
Yeah, I thought.
This isn't like
Yeah, I thought Eric played
Without
well in the first
disrespecting
half,
the
and we
Caribbean
talked
neighbors,
about it. But
I was just wondering.
yeah.
he made me nervous, and I think the positioning showed, and I think our shape getting pulled out of whack in the second half showed that.
Well, and see, that was a lot of the comments that were, in those threads was how
Yeah.
much we missed Burch. People kind of nitpicked Nana a little bit, and those that were saying certain things, I wrote off because honestly, yeah, Nana did follow and was a little too close to his era at times, but I think he was following the play, not so much as era, and he is trying to. I play the way he plays. I saw it the whole time. The thing is there weren't guys that were there or ready to catch those chance-creating passes.
Right.
They're risky passes.
Yes.
He's going to make risky
Yes,
passes.
exactly.
Our guys didn't make the effort to get those risky passes. That's what makes him look bad, as well as tracking the play, because he's waiting for that ball to make a bad bounce. He's waiting for that ability to pounce and make that tackle. And
Or somebody to win it and get it
exactly,
up
get
through.
it right there to him, because it's a quick short pass to him where he can turn and quick and make that adjusting pass out to the outsides. He had an okay game as far as I was concerned. I felt like, there weren't guys that could pick his passes. If there was someone to pick his pass or get used to his pass and know that he's going to make that
That's
pass.
going to be the thing right there.
Because I think if
Because they haven't yet.
Doyle's ability to keep the ball is there. He just needs to make himself a little bit more available. And I felt like Doyle checked out of this game a little. It was hard for me to say it, but it just seemed like
Yeah,
he was a little bit on
I felt
a.
like him and Gashi looked like they were off their game.
Yeah, I said that too. I felt like Doyle and Gashi both weren't.
Something's going on with Gashi. I don't know how to explain it. He just doesn't look
Well, someone said
as
sophomore
involved as
It's
he
close
was.
to Easter.
And I wonder if it's playing him in that 10 or his health.
It could be a combination, because you also got to remember where he was having the best time of his life was just before here as kind of that 7.
The roaming.
That
Horde.
free-flowing second forward.
Yeah.
We don't play that style. And that's the thing that people are just now starting to see, is that we bring in players who have been productive at other clubs. They get here and then production drops. And someone had posted just recently in a Facebook page of guys that of possession, positions that have left, who were productive before they got here and weren't when they got here.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
And, you've got Jones is on that list, Latu. I'm drawing a blank again. I could pull it back up, but there was Cronin, Burch. I mean, but those were just recent. Papa,
Well, now look at guys that are succeeding after they leave.
Doyle,
Solinak.
Soloniak now.
Gabby
Deshaun
was-
Brown was not.
Gabby
one that
was
you could
productive
say.
before he came.
Gabby Gabby Torres is a great example because he was productive before he came, and he was productive or is productive after. Now, granted, some of that I feel is also the type of player he is. He belongs in Panama. He belongs in that league. The conditioning, the way they take things, that's more Gabby. And that's why he's able to thrive. And that's why certain players are able to thrive in certain environments.
And that's cool. That happens.
But there seems to be a reoccurring issue of bringing in offensive players into a certain system that we've only had now for maybe 3 years, where offensive players who come into this system completely lose production. I've seen it with Doyle now in this year.
It's funny because in my
Because
line of work,
I did the stats on him.
in my line of work, the same thing happened to me in Portland, which is why I'm not in Portland anymore.
Oh, really?
But what I did in a specific way, which was very good for me. I won a lot of awards, and I got courted and hired in Portland. And then I was told, that thing you do, you can't do that here.
The thing
So
that you made you successful?
Yeah,
No, don't do
The
that.
thing that got us to want you? Yeah, stop it. 14 months. 14 months I lasted in Portland. And then I came here.
Well, Portland.
And
is
how many
that terrible
awards
of a
have you
place.
won since?
Oh, several.
See?
Several here, none in Portland. Several before Portland.
There we go.
Portland.
And that was kind
Was my
what I was
Rapids.
alluding to is that
Yeah. But
at
it
some
happens
point,
in every aspect of life. Yeah.
who in the office part of the organization is going to see that? Because we see it. And if we see it, tell me somebody there sees it.
Let me. This might be a good time to put this out. Here's kind of my opinion. I think, and kind of what Pablo alluded to, I think this is, and fans may not like to hear it.
Oh, they don't like to hear it, dude.
I think this is a rebuilding year.
Yeah, they
and I think you can
don't
tell.
want to hear it.
Look at who was on the bench
But that's
I did
this past week.
It wasn't a rebuilding year 2 weeks ago, though. That's
I
the
know,
problem.
but I think there's
That's
been a
why it's hard to
realization.
take.
Yeah, there's a realization. You look at, I think this is going to be a year where they start to groom the young guys to come up and start filling in. Because look at your bench this weekend. It was Hamilton, Josh Gatt,
Hey,
Courtney
where was-
Ford started, Mike DeFonte was on the bench.
Where was Cerna this week, by the way? No one mentioned
Calf
why he wasn't
injury
anywhere.
last I heard.
Yeah, it was like a
Okay.
last minute.
I couldn't find anything why he wasn't even on
Because
the bench.
I was going to say, how much were we missing Dylan Cerna?
Oh, we're always missing him.
You're right.
You and I talked about it during the match.
Yeah.
I just see
Well,
it.
think about it. You could have subbed him in for Gashi instead of
Yeah,
who
exactly.
they put in. Was it Hamilton?
No, they
No.
put in Cal.
That's
Caleb.
when they put in Caleb, yeah. Which
It was
There's
Caleb.
another
That's right.
one. Another young
exactly, and that was another reason why, another thing people were getting pissed off of was, his subs. Why did he go with Calvert? And where the heck is Alan Gordon? Of course, he's hurt still too.
Yeah.
But if we're supposed to be going that younger route, why the fuck didn't we do it earlier?
I don't know.
I mean, we had, and that's the problem that I think the club needs to realize what the fans and supporters are, their knee-jerk reaction and
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
regular reaction is going to be,
Well,
you had a successful season last year, and the only thing that was missing is scoring. You're telling me now, in order to fix that, we're going to have to fuck off this season and expect you to lose games that we should expect you to win, or tie games that we think you should win because you're messing with your formation and your tactics. So, just because you need time to learn this doesn't necessarily mean it's okay for us to accept.
And I'm not.
I mean, we have no choice.
I'm not going to go quite
But-
that far and saying they're just pissing the season off, but I don't know, man.
That's
I
how
see them
people-
trying to integrate from this way, and I just think that may be a byproduct of bringing in the youth.
I think maybe they're just changing as they go. I think.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
I think they're just pulling the Sean Spicer here and saying, well, the beginning of the year, I mean, we had a successful year. We did almost nothing in the off season.
And that's
And now what we've done is fucked up the part that was working. And this is the first time we've gotten the chance to see the result of that.
I
and
called
it was
that last
terrible.
year. I said, if you start pushing forward and you start trying to do this offensive thing, our defense starts getting
No, you
holes in it.
trade away our
And
defense.
that's what
our
you're
defense
seeing.
gets
You're
a-
seeing
a
us
holes
push
in it.
forward a little bit more,
I think what
and you're
you
starting
were,
to see a weaker defense because of that.
I
Right,
think, I
it's-
think Minnesota is what you were saying the Rapids would become, because they can score, but they can get scored on, and that's their problem.
And see, that's the thing. If we're
But we
putting
can't
in three,
score.
see that right? Oh, I was
Yeah,
going to
that's
say,
because we haven't gone the offensive
if
route.
we're putting in 3 goals and we lose 4-3, I'm gonna have a different reaction than 3-1, and our only goal came off of a penalty kick that I'm lucky or glad we got called for us. There's a difference there, and to an extent, Austin's right, but a lot of the blow up is more just no matter what, when you try to integrate offense, you're going to lose defense. We as fans and supporters, we know that, but that's not what we're seeing on the pitch. At times we see the guys trying, but we're not seeing goals get put in.
Yeah, we're not seeing forward movement. We got the rug pulled out from under us.
Exactly. In the meantime, the rug is getting pulled out underneath us. And when Matt said they fucked up, the best thing we had going for us was getting rid of Cronin and Burch. Not necessarily changing the tactic, but by getting rid of Cronin and Burch. And I think the problem is if they're going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, we now realize that we've got this issue we've got to fix, then the Cronin and Burch move should have happened in the fucking off season so that they could have started to tell us and prepare us and themselves for this offensive rebuild and change of tactic.
That is a rebuilding tactic. That is
we could have handled the situation as fans and supporters. We could have handled the situation better going into the season, knowing that the club is making a full-on focus on adding more attack to what was already good. And it would have sold and justified the Cronin and Burch move if whatever targeting move that they're telling us is happened a little sooner. But, my other issue with MLS is the scheduling, because there are teams like Colorado who never seem to take the December, January off season well. And we're always waiting till halfway through the season.
Yeah. It's always a work in progress.
And find me a July transfer besides Tim Howard, and even now I'm questioning, that really worked.
I did. Here's hopefully a little bit of hope. I'm anxious to see how the two new guys integrate. Mohamed Saeed, which we haven't seen much, but I've talked to a couple of team staffers, and both have said, watch out for Josh Gatt. The kid has speed to burn, and he's feeling healthy. The knees are good.
That's my only concern, man.
I'm not even worried about the knees. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, look out. They say look out.
He's destroyed his knee to the point there's nothing left.
3 times in 25
so
years
the
old.
dude has a robotic knee at
totally
25.
Rebuilt. Totally rebuilt.
So if he can return to the form that earned him a U.S. men's 4 caps, then yeah, that would be great. But when are we supposed to see that?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
how does he change anything if you haven't changed?
Because he's going to be another Dylan Cerna, man.
Brought in players that are talented, and our offense still does nothing with that.
You don't require as much from your fullbacks.
You've got to change the thought process on that field to score goals. It can't. It's not just players.
Right. Well, with a guy like Gatt, if he can play in a game up to his potential on one side, and you got Gashi on another, or Gashi in the middle and Cerna on the other, between Cerna and Gatt, those are your dangerous wingers. Like, I can
Nana
visually
behind them actually getting into partnership with these guys. That's going to be huge.
I can create a scenario where we would actually be dangerous with that lineup.
Right. And I think that's what
it would take time. Now, I wouldn't sit there and say it would take the entire season.
Right.
And I wouldn't have Fox News report that. But that's kind of...
They barely know we have a team.
Well, they sure as shit acted like it. I mean, every time we had the ball, it was crickets, dude.
Yeah.
And then
Did they call us the yellow team?
No, but what's his face? The other guy did... He talked about Courtney Ford and his experience. Like, he did his homework, and he gave this nice story about his background and the issue with the child abuse and everything else, and being in Kansas and moving to Colorado. Like, he did all of that.
Just being in Kansas doesn't qualify as child abuse.
But what he went through, though, dude,
it's close.
He would, like, his dad.
I don't know his story. I'm sorry.
It was bad.
It was kind of cool, though, because...
But all Alexi could say after that was, wow. And there was dead air.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm no commentator, but you know what I would have said? Wow. You consider
good on him.
Consider all of what you just said coming back here and making your first MLS debut, this kid is having a solid game right now. He is definitely not letting emotion get the better of him. Because at that point, he was freaking solid. He had Dom Dwyer pissed the F off. He was doing axle work on Dom.
Speaking of which, would you like to hear from Courtney?
Sure.
He was, though. You're right. That was... And he didn't have his best outing, probably. There was still a couple times you went, oh... But the kid is
He's a
kid.
debutant.
Exactly. In front of, friends and family in the place he grew up.
With rocky memories.
I thought he played well.
Yeah, I thought he had a hell of a game, man.
Here, we'll give you a couple statements from Courtney.
Good. Here with Courtney Ford. Well, you were born in Kansas and your MLS career was born in Kansas. How do you rate yourself on your debut tonight?
All it comes down to is the result, and we didn't get it. It's a great opportunity, and I'm glad I got my debut tonight, and it's nice playing in front of some family. But other than that, it's about the result, and we didn't get it tonight.
Sure. But it's an overall experience, so a travel party, coming in and training yesterday, traveling today. So, I mean, you did that with DU, but everything's just a little bit different on the MLS level, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the focus has got to be higher. You're playing in front of tons of fans. It's loud. You can't even talk to your teammates. So it's a difficult environment to play in. But leading up to it, it's a different amount of preparation that comes with it.
Picked up a little bit of a knock there before you got subbed out. What happened there?
Yeah, just when I went out for the header, both calves went out, just cramped late in the game.
Yeah. So you got RSL coming up Saturday. Kind of a little bit of a short week for you guys. Preparation. What's on the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, definitely we're going to get after it tomorrow. We're going to get a region in, and then coming up to that point, we're going to train hard, look at film, learn from our mistakes, and try to get a result there.
Courtney, that after they hit that first one, you guys really settled down. I thought quite a bit more. Would you kind of talk about, or Tim talk to you at that point?
I mean, anytime we kind of get a stop and play, we get to actually bring the guys in and talk. So I mean, organizationally, we fixed some things, but I mean, we knew that we had to get one back, so we just had to go press them and do what we could to try to get one back late there at the half, and we were unfortunate not to get one, but sometimes that's how it goes.
Like Pablo was saying, that could have changed things really all the way around. Second half, how were they they were getting in behind now and then. I mean, where were they finding their space, do you think?
I mean, I think on the flanks, they were definitely getting in wide areas and good spots. We were trying to push guys forward, try to get one back, so that's expected. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
just good. He's a really mature kid. He very thoughtful, and I mean he thinks about what he's going to say. He gives it to you, boom, done. So I just thought that was impressive. But
college education.
He's going to be a player. I really like his maturity on the field and off.
I was impressed in preseason, and I felt like he was. I definitely thought, watch out.
And
Mr. Shane O'Neill won't be the best homegrown player to come out of the defense.
He's got the physical tools. So, anyway, let me know. Do you want to talk to the other guys while we're?
Yeah, since we're doing some of your clips, let's keep going.
We'll hear from Pablo, and basically this was just kind of asking him. You know what? Like, I don't know how to describe it. You'll hear his thoughts.
This is not what you will find on the Rapids website.
Yeah, this was afterwards.
They ain't closed that.
He and I spoke a little bit. I'm trying to get so we don't have to listen to my stupid voice again. But here we go.
We appreciate that.
What was changing?
Well, no, I think it's fitness. I think it's game fitness. I think it's match fitness. Again, I think this 3.5 week break when everyone else is playing two or three games, we're sitting at home training, and so I think from a fitness perspective, I think from a sharpness perspective, I think from a lot of perspectives, not having these games while other teams are in this rhythm and zone of playing and they understand the tempo, I think that was it. And I think, to be honest, at this level, at this moment, we need to get fitter, but you can only do that from playing games.
Yeah, which will come. It sounds like you're not overly concerned.
I'm not.
It'll get back on track.
No, I'm not, because we created enough opportunities to win that first half.
Yeah.
We should have won that first half. And I think if we win that first half, it's a different game. But you got to score goals, because goals change games. And so at the end of the day, again, we just weren't sharp enough in front of goal, and it's just simple stuff, simple passes, more determination, more grit. And then again, there's moments where they break, and there's a lot of just little simple things that when you're in a rhythm, you do right. When you don't, again, you're not competing against SKC on Tuesday through Friday at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. You're playing against each other. So there's a lot of things that we can look at, But I think the effort was fantastic. I think the fact that we ended up getting a goal, I think we deserved it. I think we deserve more from the game. But at the end of the day, it was to be expected, knowing that we had 3.5, 4 weeks of no play.
That's what you mean. Thanks, man.
Awesome, Ryan. Take care.
Speaking of that goal we deserved, do you think Kevin Doyle meant to put it straight down the middle like that? It seemed like that wasn't the initial plan.
Are you talking the PK?
That's a new standard, actually.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
A lot of players.
I mean, going right down the middle like that is a rare thing. It happens, but do you think that was his plan, or did he flub it a bit and get lucky?
I don't know.
At this point, I don't care.
I
'Cause
trust that guy.
I
know.
feel
Just
like
mine-
Doyler needed a goal, whether it
mine is
came out
an-
of a PK or not. I think he needed it.
My initial thought was just something he didn't connect right, and it didn't go where he wanted it to.
I don't know.
that
He's
was
been
my
around the
thought.
block. I think he's.
You think he just went down the middle?
But
No, you've seen a lot of players do that more now, though.
getting a bit
You really
cheeky.
are, because
Yeah,
most keepers move.
it's a valid shot. It didn't strike me as, ooh, that was his plan.
And don't forget, guys, that goal Pablo was talking about was that ball that Doyle sent into the back post, and Badji on the goal line, basically. I mean, that was a hell of a save.
Oh, that goal. Yeah.
That would have. I agree. It would have made a big difference.
Or the one that if it wasn't Azira sliding into the box and maybe Nana,
Yep.
that
Was about that far past.
Yep.
There's
in
a couple
between
of
his
those.
legs. So I mean, and when you're talking about chances like that, that's just kind of, their chances, and sometimes that's bad luck. But what I appreciate with what you got right there is not anything that will be published from anywhere else, because if you listen to the tone of his voice,
Yeah.
you could tell he's frustrated.
He was.
And he was giving you honest answers. That's not the kind of shit you get that is in a press conference. I could tell you were honestly one-on-one, and he was genuinely, hopefully this doesn't burn us for playing that, but I feel
he
like
listens.
that's the kind of
Yeah,
stuff that needs to come out, because if more fans hear the frustration in his voice and the less of the show fodder that they get fed, then they're going to accept that these little mishaps from time to time a lot easier. But when they go and post some of the same quotes, and they'll just, the cliche crap, because Pobs is good at giving it, and everyone knows it now. No one wants to hear that anymore. They want what you just got. They want to hear the frustration. They want to hear the truth. They want to see that this dude is effectively, this shit got to him.
Yeah, and
Because that's not what they're
tell.
feeling right now.
And he's an open. Pablo's a pretty open book, and that's what I love about spending that time with him. And he knows what we're doing, so it's not like, I've had conversations with him off the record that they're off the record.
Yeah,
Not
exactly. I was going to say, stop
You know,
there.
we leave it
off the
we
record.
leave it
off
there.
the
Tell
record.
us. We want to know.
But I'll tell you that nobody in that locker room was happy. It was, yeah, you can tell.
Speaking of that, you got one more, yes? Or you got
We do,
something to
yeah.
say?
Go ahead though. We'll talk to
what?
Marlon here in a second.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
And I was kind of frustrated for Marlon. He was having trouble getting the ball in a decent plan. But when he did, he was making some things happen. Again, they were just not
I feel like
connecting.
Marley he was the first one that got took out of the game, because I feel like that side judge completely fucked him. And this, unless you've recorded the game, you won't be able to know, because Fox did a damn good job of not replaying the two offsides calls that he was clearly onside. I had to record, pause, and ding, ding, ding. But Fox never replayed it. The one they did replay was the one where he was blatantly offside. And that's where I was like, I love Fox as far as their sports go, because Colin is on Fox. But at that point, I seriously 50 points dropped off. Like, I see the bias coverage. You couldn't show a replay of when that AR that Lawless was blowing up his ass about how much awards he's won. Really, motherfucker? He just blew both of those calls, and it took Marley right the F out of the game. You could see it in his face, and then they tried switching sides. Maybe if he's farther away from the AR, the call won't happen as much. Doesn't matter. It's already in his head. He's already taken out. I've been in that position. I've had an AR fuck me like that, and it's hard to recover from. And you look forward to the second half, hoping that other guy is better. And then
Baji
and
and
Marlon
Marlon
the game mentally too.
On the cusp of doing really, really well, but neither of them has made that jump yet. And I feel that this season, if they don't, like, our season's going to have some issues. I think at least one of them needs to start scoring goals and significantly more
One of them
goals.
scores goals, the other sets it up. That's the thing. Marley was our assist leader last year. That's what he does. He's not going to score the goals. It's Dom who's going to score the goals, if Dom's there. But Dom's not a winger. He's got speed, but he's not a winger, and he's also not necessarily. He's kind of what Gashi was in Switzerland. He needs to follow behind someone like Doyle who's going to hold up that ball, and he can just give it to him and go. And they're not even playing that. You'd think Connor Casey would be like, look, let Dom play off of Doyle. But
because he's not strong enough to play up there on his own.
They're
as
so
we saw
stubborn in this formation.
With him against Ikopara, that was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Opara was just stronger.
And part of it is the formation, because if we're going to use that lone striker up top, we're not using those three guys behind him right.
Yep.
And that's where the disconnect is. Not just in the midfield, but also with those three guys. Because as much as I hated what Lawless had to say, he was right about the fact that you had, at sometimes, Doyle, Marley, and Dom, and sometimes Gashi all in a line.
Right, yeah.
Like they were four forwards. It was like 4-2-4. And that's why Nana and Michael were just tracking as best as they could.
Plus they had to fill in higher, and that left that gap behind.
And that's kind of where the flaw in this formation is, by trying to add offense. But yeah, let's hear from Marley.
All right on.
I think from the beginning of the game, we tried to press them. Yeah. We wanted them to, make mistakes, higher up the field for us, so that we could, try to counter and get goals close to the goals and create goals close to the goal. And I think we did that. Unfortunately, they scored the first goal, and playing from behind, isn't easy on the road. And but we didn't put our heads down. We continued to try to press, and on the day they were a really good side. A couple of their goals came from us over pressing and us being late to tackles and playing around us, and they were a really good team on the day.
What did you guys talk about it? I forgot to ask Pablo, but what did you guys talk about it at halftime? All right, coming out, this is what we do.
We didn't want to change much. We thought that we ended the first half on a positive note. We had created some chances, off the press. So we wanted to do that coming back into the second half, try to create more chances, from our defensive pressure. And, when we got the ball to, try to knock the ball around and get chances in behind. And I think a few of our chances came from, chances getting in behind them. And, Miller had a great cross to Baji on one. Keeper made a heck of a save on that one. But, we had a few chances, but at the end of the day, it wasn't good enough for the team.
Thanks, man.
There you go.
Hey, and I hate to give credit to Tamila, but
I know, don't you though? I do.
No, but for real, the dude is literally the best keeper in MLS right now. Stats don't lie.
He was big time.
He's let in 2 goals in 4 games, and one of them was a PK.
Yeah.
And he made some excellent saves. I mean, dude was clearly standing on his head. There's not a lot you can do when a keeper is standing on their head like that.
Yep.
But that doesn't necessarily take away from the fact that we failed in areas.
True.
Whether you were trying to get a point out of the game or just try to save face, we fell apart here and there. And, we definitely spent a lot of time talking about it.
Was that 11 minutes? By the way?
We should start recording now.
Yeah, right? I was like, shit, did I hit record?
We're good. Yeah, we're burning all this good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay.
I'll tell you what, don't let me stop. Wait, don't let me end Kansas City without giving big Rocky Mountain shout out to the Miller family. Our super fans, you know who you are. I won't throw first names out and throw you all over the internet, but
Hi, guys.
Eric Miller's mom and dad were there. Thanks so much. I got to go down and meet him and talk to him, and you guys are awesome.
It was a milestone for Eric too, wasn't it? It was the 50th MLS
Yeah.
start. As well as Hairston.
That's impressive. I mean, Eric's a young guy. I mean, that's a pretty good
50
number
starts
of
for
games.
59 games. That's a good ratio. He's doing, doing wonderful.
He's had a couple bad games here and there, but everyone has a bad day. But for the most part, I felt he was just as solid as Mark Burch on that, on the other side. Like
Totally.
If Eric Miller was in the lineup, I was comfortable. Am comfortable. And when he's not,
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not. And
Absolutely.
That's kind of how I feel. So yeah.
So we actually got some questions/statements from chat.
Sweet. Bring him.
New viewer now.
so we
Tick
can-
Tick Boom.
Who?
Tick, tick, boom.
Tick, tick.
Tick Tick Boom.
I like it. I
That's
like
what
it.
says.
Kind of
I'm
like the
terrible at
rapid
this.
season.
So he thinks Doyle and Baji need to be coming, or Baji need to be coming off the bench. Gashi should be on the left, at least until we shore up the partnership between Nana and Azira. I think we need an extra body there rather than up top.
Who do you put up front by themselves, though? There's
Well,
only-
I'm guessing Doyle or Baji.
Okay, I was
one
gonna
of
say,
those two.
There's only one that I trust more. up
Doyle.
there, and- yeah.
Yeah, as much as
Doyle.
he's not producing, and even though Baji scored more goals, there's just Doyle has that ability to keep the ball on his foot.
And he can bring people into the
Right. He
attack.
sucks defenders in when he does that, which allows room for the guys tracking and following to get that open pass. Whereas Baji's going to be more the type that'll want to take that ball and turn and go. It doesn't necessarily leave room for guys that are following the attack or open passes or whatever. So I would still continue to go with Doyle and bring Baji off the bench because of his speed. It'll help more when defenders are less or more fatigued, I guess was the word I guess I was looking for.
Yeah.
And yeah, Gashi belongs on the left. I mean, his natural position in any video game, any way you look him up, no matter how you look, they have him as a left midfielder, left wing. So maybe we should stop playing him as a 10 and maybe put Little Dill there. I'd be very, very comfortable putting Little Dill in the 10.
I don't know what to say.
Love Little Dill. I think
For
my
right
only
now,
worry,
our best
whenever
option,
he has
I think,
started,
is
he's
Little
had
Dill.
problems.
No, I agree. I have not problems. He's been less productive by the end of the game.
Yeah.
He's come off the bench and been shocking. And maybe that's, partially
Got off the bench, he's such a spark.
Right.
it could be, which is a combination of teams being fatigued, not taking, a substitute as seriously as you would a starter, blah, 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 blah. But what Dill brings to the plate is going to happen whether he starts or doesn't. I think throughout the duration of the game, his production might drop, and that might just be, a credit to fitness, like Pablo said, and especially in his situation coming back from the knee. Who knows? Maybe he's more fit now, but he had a calf injury that kept him off the roster and traveling from Kansas City. But
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what's going on.
yeah,
there.
exactly. As we look forward to Salt Lake, are we going to see somewhat similar of a lineup? It's hard to tell,
I don't know. I mean,
but my gut tells me yes.
well, real quick before I just brain farted. One more shout. I just because I got to talk to these guys up in the stands, and that was awesome. There was probably about 8 to 10 Rapids fans in that visiting section, up in the corner. But Gio and his wife, I apologize for forgetting your name, and then their son, Lil Gio, I think his name actually is
Gio Jr.
Gio whatsoever on Twitter.
Gio whatsoever.
And there's a whole crew there. So good to talk to you guys. Glad you made it out.
Are they from Kansas City, or they go? all
No,
the
they
way?
were from
traveled?
here. They traveled.
Nice.
Yeah.
They made the 7.5, 8 hour drive.
And I did spill the beans to them about who's going to be at our tailgate, so they were stoked for that.
That's okay.
well, you
We
might as well
announced it
spill
2
it
weeks
now. Yeah,
ago.
that's true. We did announce it too.
Oh, that's true.
Confirmed it yesterday.
Yeah,
We'll just remind people. Axel's at the tailgate.
Axel. The one guy had an Axel jersey on, so he was stoked to hear that too.
Oh,
So.
yeah. First time at the tailgate.
Yeah, hopefully the last.
Hopefully the last time.
Yeah,
Hopefully
no
he's
doubt.
playing after
No
that.
offense.
Hopefully he's in Minnesota.
Right.
Anyway, all right, moving on.
Okay.
Moving on. We're going on to RSL?
Yeah.
Or we want to talk some more shit?
Yeah.
Well, unless you got some shit to talk
Nah,
it.
I'll save it for next week. I don't want to get too negative.
All right.
It's
See
just
what
like-
happens
this is-
after
This is
RSL.
39 minutes already of negativity. Now the starting 11.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh yeah.
The breakdown isn't going to be too much more positive.
It wasn't too negative. We were just
No,
That was
but I
the
don't wanna
breakdown.
get-
I don't know
don't
what
wanna-
you're talking about. If
throwing it out
anything,
there, yeah.
we totally jumped our starting 11.
The,
if
the
we
new
wanna...
segment that I have planned will only be stronger next week, most likely. Based on statistics, which you say don't lie.
Yeah.
Because RSL,
Austin.
RSL is not going to be easy or fun.
No, it never is.
So our last year, of course, RSL holds the cup, the Rocky Mountain Cup. We lost twice, won once to them last year. That last loss in August was one of the worst games of my fucking year. One of the best for Tim Howard, but one of the worst for all of us fans because the cup hung in the balance. But that was some world-class keeping.
Yeah, it was.
It was Gashy's 5th goal. It was Calvert's debut, 61-minute sub. Okay, I checked out RSL. Of course, we skipped the starting 11, but they did win over Vancouver 3-0. They destroyed Vancouver
In snowstorms.
in a whiteout conditions. I had to check. I had to keep checking because I was watching the MLS highlights. I had to keep checking. I wasn't on the RSL channel because it was only RSL shots that were making the highlight reel.
Oh, yeah.
I looked it up. RSL took 19 shots, 6 of them on target.
Good God.
We're gonna get peppered, man.
Vancouver had 3 on target, so I got.
We only have
curious.
We
like
took 2
30
shots
on
the
the season.
entire game.
I got curious. I couldn't find the game stats for Colorado, but I did find the whole season so
You
far
didn't want
stats.
them.
We've only shot 30 shots,
4 goals.
30 shots, and 9 on target so far this year, which puts us dead last. Dead last for shots on goal.
Tell me that statistician up in the front office knows that stat.
The next one up would be Orlando. We have 9. They have 14.
Yeah.
And we're dead last. We are dead last in shots total. Let's see, where's the number? Okay. FC Dallas is the second. We have 30. They have 43. And
What are those?
Wait,
that's
what's this?
shots.
Total
taken.
shots?
We've taken 30. We're dead last for shots taken. The next
Okay.
one above us has taken 43. That's Dallas.
And how many have they
We have
scored?
that much of a deficit. I didn't look up Dallas's
See, because if you
goals.
look at their goals compared to their shots, I guarantee their accuracy rate is at least 25%
Oh, yeah.
or more
Yeah.
Yeah.
compared to where we're at. And that's
In the meantime, RSL. I should point out that Orlando and Dallas both played the same amount of games as us, 4 games. So we're not deficit there.
that's good.
Look
RSL
how
on the
many points
season.
they have, though.
Right? Both
Yeah.
teams.
10.
Yeah.
Colorado, again,
9,
30 shots. RSL for the season, 77. Colorado shots on goal, 9. RSL, 23.
Didn't
They're
RSL
tied.
have 9 of those shots probably in that one game?
Well,
had-
easily when they had 19 shots. And
Yeah.
I read on MLS, just the one guy, the
my
Jura.
the guy who scored the first to set
Movsisyan.
up the other 2.
Yeah.
Not Murphys, not
Oh,
Euro.
not Movsisyan?
Plata.
No, he got moved back in the
Ron,
midfield.
Ron something. He's like Serbian or Croatian.
Oh, the dude they just brought in.
He scored the first. He assisted on the 2 others. He said that those 3 right there, all of Vancouver beat
Must
all
be
of
nice to
Vancouver
have a
shots
guy
in the
you
game.
bring in and produce.
God, who are we going to have that
Anyway,
go
RSL
bite
is
his
tied.
ankles this time?
RSL is tied for second with Minnesota United for second most shots
Yeah,
taken.
we'll said Manchester United.
MNUFC. I'm still getting used to
right.
MNUFC.
You have to throw that in there.
It is
Otherwise,
such a weird
know.
acronym for
It is-
someone who's already
It
familiar
is
with.
silly.
That's all
There
I've
is
got for
one
RSL.
positive stat.
All of our RSL.
One positive
Oh,
stat.
hold on.
One thing.
They're
Every
1.3
wait.
points
Hold.
per
Hold that,
game.
hold
We're
that.
1.
Go ahead,
Wait.
Austin.
Say that again, Jabberwocky. Say that again. We didn't hear it.
One. So the only positive stat I could find for RSL is they have 0.83 points per game, and we have 1 point per game.
Barely a difference. They've only won 1. Yeah, that was their only win. But every time we've played them, it's come down to our defense. Our 2-1 loss should have been a 4 or 5-1 loss, I think, if I remember correctly. But for our defense, but for Tim Howard, I believe our first loss was the same situation, not quite as dramatic, but I believe it was somebody's flub. Somebody made an error, lobbed the ball behind him, I think, or McMath at the time.
Yeah. Oh.
And sunk it. I believe that was a defensive error.
And that's
now
why
our defense is gone. It's fucking gone. What are we supposed to do without a defense?
And that's why he brought up the shots. And that's why I mumbled under my breath, we're going to get peppered. And tell me you haven't heard the phrase, eventually one will get in.
Yeah, it's on
you
there.
take enough shots, eventually
written,
one will get in.
It's written on most condom boxes.
Yeah, you would think so, but
can't score if you don't
apparently that phrase is not muttered in the Rapids locker room, because when you hear about the amount of shots taken,
they're stingy.
I don't think it's stingy. I think that's where
cowardly.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm going to go down to the head man and the tactics.
They're hyper selective.
Well, they're told to do so much of one thing with their defending. They're not being told a whole lot of what to do with their offense. And so when they get to the offensive third, and I see this, those guys, Doyle, Baji, Hairston, Gashi, they're on their own. They have no tactical instructions whatsoever. They're on their own to try and create whatever they got to do be a goal, to create a goal. Problem is leading up to that, they've been wandering and trying to defend, and they have to adjust this mentality. Then you have the fact that there's this feeling that they've got to make a pass. You've got to, create this chance, and we start playing too close to the box looking for that special goal instead of just putting the shot on goal.
That's what I mean. We walk a fine line, and if it's not spot on, we're hosed.
Somewhere they're being restricted as far as taking the shots. Gashi would take his shots, and Gashi got his goals, but he's not taking those shots right now. And who else is going to be the one to tell them, don't take that shot, or look for the pass in this place, or try to find the open guy making the run here? There are certain things that are being said that are hindering some of the shots, and that's my issue. And what I wanted to say I made a comment at the beginning of the program about how a reporter had asked Pablo a question, and I just saw everything leave his eyes. He had no idea how to answer it. And that question was, Gashi hasn't really been involved. What do you need to do to get Gashi involved? And he just kind of was like, he hasn't, and he just needs to get to the ball. And basically his answer was, it's on his own.
Play the game on
He had no answer to. Her question was, what do you need to do to get Gashi involved? And his answer was, well, in a roundabout way, we just need to get him the ball. Dude, that's what she just freaking asked you.
How?
So you on national television checked out and blankly had no idea how to answer that question and gave the best PC answer you could. I called bullshit right away. And that's where I was like, nah. Okay. Now, let me add the fact that every single assistant coach that has been brought in to help Pablo since he got the head coach has left after the end of the year. I do not want to lose Connor Casey, but if that happens, don't tell me there's an issue here.
If we ever get to interview Connor Casey and you find out that he's still renting cars, that's a bad sign.
Like Doyle has been for 2
years.
Doyle
is still renting cars.
Yes.
He has a smart car.
Which
he had a big truck the last time we talked to him.
If I felt like he checked out in this game and he's renting cars now,
you can't commit to buying a car. That's a bad sign.
We'll chat.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. I wasn't privy to any of the Fox stuff, so I don't know. But like I tweeted you during the match.
You're better off, man. My freaking nerves were shot by the end of the game.
But when I tweeted you, he and Connor were.
I saw it.
Did they show that?
Well,
they were talking
as much. They didn't focus on it, but I focused on it.
Oh yeah, you could tell they were quite a few times. They were really in conversation, and it was Connor doing a lot of talking. So
But I saw that from Spencer at one point, and
Sure.
by the end of the season, there was not a whole lot of communication between Spencer and Pops.
Yeah,
and you saw it too.
Yeah.
So we are still early in the season, so let's see what the communication's like in August. But there is a better rapport between Connor and Spenny. We know
You mean
that.
in
We see
Pablo?
it. Yeah. But a better rapport with Pablo than Connor and Spinny.
I hope he
So-
plays Friday, by the way.
I hope they both do.
That'd be fun.
Yes. So,
Austin, anything from the live folks? Or they just zoned
not,
out, listen to us?
Yeah. Like,
not
I'm done.
exactly. No new questions. They
How do they think
said
we'll do
that
against
they're
ourselves?
glad about our passion, and they basically agree with our slight negativity for the show.
With Matt? They all
Mr.
agree with Matt
Slight
this time?
negativity. That's mine. It's gonna be my new on-air handle.
Slight negativity.
Is our Alabama listener in tonight?
Yeah, he came in. He came in a little late because he forgot it was Tuesday or something.
Man, he must be on vacation. I missed that.
I
love-
forgot
I
it was
love not-
Tuesday for a little
I love
while
not
there,
knowing
too.
what day it is.
You're not allowed vacation.
But I do have a couple of
I get vacations. I just get punished for
C38
them.
announcements we got to get
That's why I
kicked
work
out of the
Saturday.
way.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Do it.
Yeah. Since we're in a lull,
Meh.
April 29th, which will be the Orlando game.
Woohoo!
Your current staff here is going to be at that game.
Yeah.
But we are doing a switchbacks doubleheader. So we're taking a bus from downtown and driving it up to a bar, watch the Rapids game, and then I believe it's Jack Quinn's in Colorado Springs. And then we are going to drive that bus over to the switchbacks game and watch that game live. It's $20. That covers your ride with beers
That's a
and
screaming
your match
deal.
ticket.
Nice.
Yeah, good deal.
That's a joke for how cheap
After
it
that,
is.
we have
think the
a
Switchbacks cost
Odell
about $20.
Brewery tour
Probably.
and Fort Collins watch party.
Nice.
$5.
What?
You get on the bus, go down, do a tour,
What?
and then we get to watch the game at Road 34.
Odell.
And then, of
Oh,
course,
right
there's
on.
the
I wanna do
RSL away bus trip, which the first bus is sold out, and that's $99 for hotel, transportation, and match ticket.
Hey,
What's the
Austin,
date on
can-
that?
Can we opt out of the bus but still get the hotel deal?
I know, right?
Is-
No,
Um,
for
serious-
cereal though.
serious,
Like
serious.
that's a question I have
I think
too.
I'm gonna drive with my son. Can I get in on the hotel deal or no?
You'd have to ask Boraz.
You can bunk with Austin.
Okay.
You'll get a double
So,
bed.
but
I'll
yeah,
find
that's
out- I'll
that's a
find out for
steal
everybody.
on August
Yeah.
26th.
Yeah, it is.
And the
That's
bus ride is really a
redonkulous.
blast
Yeah.
for non-old people like Matt that don't like
Well,
people that are loud.
It's less the
So,
old guy like Matt
I was
and
just
more
gonna
the
s-
young guy like Aiden.
yeah, I was gonna just say it's not so much that Matt wouldn't take the bus if he wasn't having to take his kid.
Matt doesn't
but-
like people. Let's be honest.
Best
There's
thing
a
about my
reason we
car
do a
is it
radio
only seats
show.
3.
But no, I thought the same for myself. I have no idea where I'm going to be at with my career at that
Life.
point. But I wondered about.
You may be
know,
living on that bus.
That's true. I might be living in the trailer. At
What's
that
the
point.
date of that game?
August.
That'd be August 26th for the RSL, June 24th for the Fort Collins, and then April 29th for the Switchbacks.
June 24th.
Isn't that near that Portland game?
That's the 18th.
All right, so that's the week after. All right, so I see how that lays out.
That's the LA game at LA, I believe.
Oh God.
Which I'm.
You thinking of going out there,
We'll talk later off air.
huh?
And if you're watching a live stream, these new hats are going to be available at the tailgate along with a baseball cap.
Nice. What do you got?
so-
You got the snapback on?
Check.
No. He's got
Check.
the. You can't.
I
see
got
it,
the- I got
but
the- got, like,
he's
the fisherman's
got the
hat.
Fisherman's.
Oh, the
it's
bucket.
it's yeah. It's dude. I dig it. I kind of
Yeah.
want one. I think I'll get me one.
I may get one for yard
Members
work.
of the
I got
voice
burned
get
like-
one
I got so
non-graphic.
burned.
Exactly.
But
Oh, man.
outside of that, I have to go.
All right.
I have places to be, sadly.
Oh shit, we kept you 15 minutes late. Sorry
big
about
time
that.
on us. Jesus.
You should have spoke up. We kept you late.
You think you have places?
I know, but so that means for the stream, thanks for stopping by,
Yeah, thanks everybody.
and thanks to our listeners.
Yep.
As
Catch you
always.
next week, and yeah, let's hope for.
See
3
you on
points.
Tuesday, kid.
Cool.
See you Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Tailgate. All right. We'll finish it up on our end,
Forgot
guys.
about that.
I guess our banter back and forth, we could kind of give our 3 points and what we'd like to see and hope to see. But I think for me, I feel like the lineup is going to be very. I don't know if there's even going to be a change.
Yeah, I don't even know what to think yet. I'll have to see what
Could Cerna
goes
be
on
back?
out there.
If Cerna's back, I would like to almost see that change instead of Dom. I'd like to have Dom or Cerna outside if they're going to continue to try Gashi at the 10. If you want to go back to where Gashi kind of maybe certain people as a player.
Then who do you sit though?
Dom.
Okay.
I would sit Dom because I really think between Calvert is Doyle Jr.
Yes.
He plays that style. Dom is Deshaun Brown, Omar Cummings. Not there yet.
Yeah.
But style. If we're going to try to compare or relate for the Rapids fans who've known this team for a little while.
He scored some goals this year.
He
though.
does score some goals, but tell me Calvert hasn't. Look at what he did in preseason.
But has he scored a game this year?
He hasn't had the opportunity.
All right. I mean,
he hasn't, but neither up until the PK for Doyle, neither had Doyle. Dom's been the only one to score.
well, but he's done other things.
Right, and that's
but
what,
I see what you're saying.
right, but that's what you gotta kind of have to give or take with these players. Like, okay, do I take Dom off the pitch who scored more goals than anybody else in the club right now? Maybe so, because by putting in Gashi to that outside, that's obviously where he's naturally done well.
You're
Although
you got a
there-
crazy look in your eye. You're scaring me.
Yeah, well, I think that we're missing Cerna a little bit right now. Until we get whatever signing that's coming up, no one has been able to fill that creative midfield spot like Little Dill.
Forgot to tell Austin something. Oh well.
He ain't gonna miss it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Was it about Powers?
That's what I'm wondering. No,
Oh,
that's what I'm wondering if they're bringing in a like for like with Josh Gatt. I wonder if he's Dylan.
He's a lottery
Esque.
ticket dude.
So we'll have to see.
but is he hurt when Dylan's hurt?
See,
Is he
that's
well
why I'm
when
saying
Dylan's
he's a
hurt?
lottery ticket until like
If he's a like for
either.
like trade, it doesn't matter. He just has to be healthy when it counts.
I mean, I hope we're not giving up on certain folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if that Cerna trade's coming true? That's why Gat's here.
Remember your information
Yeah.
a while back?
No, they just
Yeah.
profiled his family on their Road to Recovery.
Yeah. Which has anybody watched that yet?
I have not. I've just seen the.
I'm going to
headline.
tonight, but
I'm gonna
Do
wait
it.
till all three
I'm
parts.
anxious. It
or
looks
all the
like
parts are out.
Yeah, I thought that too, but I gave the first one a little. It's good.
Okay.
I'm glad they did it.
I don't think they would dedicate the time to him and his family if he were
Dude,
not
yeah,
staying.
see,
Yeah.
I honestly think that Dill's a bigger part of the future than Big Dill.
okay.
I'd like
Fair
to
enough.
think so.
Fair
I'd like to think that between Little Dill, Courtney Ford, and Sam Hamilton, they're starting to make that promise they made 5 years ago
Bingo.
come true.
And
that's
what
what
I'm
you were
saying.
talking about earlier,
Yup.
which is fine. If I see the same lineup, then maybe you're a little bit right. But then Dylan Powers needs to be in that lineup unless he is another option to go. Because he's been a target transfer every year since Rookie of the Year. He hasn't completed any sort of progression like he did with Pablo that he did with Oscar. So maybe Big Dill does need to move on to a different club. And we focus on building the club around Little Dill.
You're blasphemous. How dare you? I thought Austin left this podcast for the day.
Hey, last time someone said I was blasphemous, I turned out to be right. Just saying. And she's made
not-
me pay for it.
she's not
ever
here right now.
since. But just say it. But I don't know. I'd like to think that Little Dill will be here for a little while.
Yeah, I would. Too.
And I do think that he's part of kind of what we're missing.
We'll see. Unfortunately, I won't really see much till Friday. But
Yeah, and I'd like to if I have the opportunity to catch training tomorrow, I'm gonna try.
nice.
But we'll see.
Do we have
But-
all 3 points?
So I just kind of
Or was that it?
yeah. the 3 points are us, and
Keep the
Yeah.
shaping back,
Okay.
guys.
if
whatever you
RSL is
do.
going to come out the way that they've come out before, based on Matt's shot numbers, stats, we're going to get peppered. So
more white knuckle soccer. Just try to hold on to the seat in front of you.
And I think Courtney is really going to have a game, because I think the difference between Bobby Burling and Courtney is Courtney's got that youth, that speed, that ability to just recover, bounce, and keep going.
Athletically,
yeah. I think that we need that with RSL. If they're going to continue to pepper us like they have with everyone else, then we need that. And Timmy's going to have a good game, and hopefully.
I think Azira's got to start being more the hard man, unfortunately.
Yeah, Azira's going to have to kind of be the Cronin until little Nana can kind of come along. I mean, he's got to find his feet. And we, there are unfortunately stars that have come into this league for other teams and have done well in their first 2 or 3 games and have earned an article saying so-and-so is living up to the hype, blah, blah, blah.
They're
blah,
the
blah.
next blah, blah.
We haven't been able to say that about anyone who's come to the Rapids. And again, I kind of start to think, does anyone see a pattern here? When we bring in people with potential and the potential doesn't show, where does it stop and why? Questions will be asked by others at some point, even though we're asking them now.
Are you writing a book? What is that?
It's been that kind of day.
Man, getting all philosophical.
You have no idea. Check out our other podcast. No, just kidding. Yeah.
It's called Brendan's Life.
No, it's philosopher.
Oh.
And it has nothing to do with the Rapids, but more footy and philosophy.
Oh, all right.
I'm blending the two. But my 3 points I'll just bundle into one. Just go out there and not make an ass of ourselves. I can't believe I'm saying it, but we really just...
That's quite a goal.
Get a point out of this.
Matt does it every day.
Preferably 3. We've got a home...
I go out and I don't make an ass of myself every day.
We've got a home unbeaten
focus.
streak to take care of.
You're right. It's time to get back on and focus.
Yeah, we've got a home unbeaten streak that really, at this point, matters the most to me. Stay unbeaten. Whether it's 1 point or 3, just stay the F unbeaten.
Whoever we're going to lose it to, don't let it be ours.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a good point.
Exactly, and that's where I'm at.
That's the thing. If we lose this game, now you guys know I'm kind of a homer and I'm kind of a glass half full. But if we lose this one, I'm getting a little nervous.
That's when your flag of concern gets raised.
Yeah, I'm not on the ledge like
what
a lot
is it
of
about
folks,
this
but...
game that to push you over the ledge?
Yeah, I just...
Is it the 3rd out of 5? Wait, that'll be the 3rd loss out of 5 games if we lose.
Yeah,
is that the stat?
I don't know.
The RSL thing.
I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
Brendan's got to pee.
I think it's a starting of a trend, which kind of gets me that we're not holding up our end defensively, and that's a bad sign.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's face it, last year we caught lightning in a bottle, and like it or not, we're not gonna the shit. Like I said earlier, we walk a fine line. So you're not going to catch that lightning again this year. Let's be honest. So now it's how do you make the best of where you're at on that fine line? And I think this is kind of a tipping point game. That's what the part that makes me nervous. In that, if we lose, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But dumpster baby.
You gotta start changing some shit. And by the way, Mrs. Miller said it's okay if we're explicit.
Okay.
Because she's a bit of a potty mouth.
All right.
But I mean that in a good way. God love her.
Yeah.
Tweet me the dirtiest thing you know.
So she is not offended by us at all. So
right. Good to know.
All right. This has gone on way too long.
Yeah.
So much my bladder can't stand it anymore.
Wrap it up.
See you guys at the tailgate. We got Axel. So if you haven't had the opportunity to get his autograph, you gots to come by.
And if you're really short, have your picture next to him. It's awesome.
Next to his navel.
Yeah, you got to see that because, it's just epic. So,
and he's a solid dude.
See you guys on Saturday.
To acknowledge the nights in our laces, hearted races. And we go back to where we moved out to the places, hearted races. Well, I bought it in a can, and I skirted with my fingers singing, boom da 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 boom da da da, threw it out the window. Lately you've been tame, suspicious for the winter. Boom da 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 boom da da da, legs like this. in our legs, heart racing.